Hey guys, it's Tello here, back to another video for today. Hope everyone's having a damn good one. In today's video, I want to talk about something very different for any video I've ever done on this channel. And this is more of a, me and you, we're chilling, hanging out type of video. But also we're being vulnerable right now because I've never been vulnerable on my channel before. And I got a lot of reactions to my post yesterday on my community page on YouTube on doing this style of a video, and I feel like it's right that we do this because I don't see many people talking about this in the World of Warcraft scene because it's something that goes unnoticed. Sometimes people either laugh about it or they try to play it off, but it's a reality of what happens, and especially during June where it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month as well. I think talking about mental health in the World of Warcraft community is something that's very relevant and something that's always going to be relevant no matter what because I care about it that much. And for number one, I want to talk to you guys about basically stress and anxiety. Me as a person, I deal with that every day, every single day, whether it's making videos, whether it's, even when streaming, either when it's going outside, living my life, my normal life outside of all of the internet, going to the fucking grocery store, to the deli aisle. I deal with stress and anxiety there too. And I just want to say that it's something that it's not easy because there are people that are saying, oh, don't be stressed out, don't have anxiety. It's easier said than done for a lot of people. I think a lot of people got hit with stress and anxiety, especially much more after COVID. And COVID really did a good number on some people because, everybody was isolated, staying at home all the time. You build up a lot of stress, anxiety, new habits start to form, some better than others. And especially in the WoW scene too, where in WoW that comes relevant because you're always playing the game, you're always online, you get yourself involved with, guildmates, you're playing with your buddies in dungeons, you're doing BGs, whatever you're doing, but some form of stress and anxiety comes from that too, whether it's even your own performance, you trying to get that high ticket item, or you just trying to get an item overall, and then also dealing with other people, right? And maybe what kind of people you're dealing with, whether they're parsers or whether they're just funny guildmates or they're just trolls. There's also a variety of things that you could deal with in World of Warcraft, even in PvP if you're getting griefed or if you have issues about something that you talk about on forum posts, etc. There's a lot of stress and anxiety that comes from all of these subjects that exist, right? And I really feel like that a lot of people in the WoW community have this, but they don't talk about it because they are very afraid to open up with somebody. Maybe they've been burnt in the past. Maybe they just don't trust anybody anymore. And I know what that's like. I'm a human being. Even outside of WoW, I've had issues in life where I've lost friends or I've seen individuals just change completely in front of me to the point where they are just not the same anymore, but I try to do the best to hear them out. This has happened to me in World of Warcraft too, where I've lost guildmates and they've, changed the way they look at the game. They have a different attitude of things, and I've always tried to hear people out, and this is why I'm making even this video too, because I want you to know that, I'm myself here for you guys, I make these 10 to 20 minute videos to take away the stress and anxiety that you guys have, even if it's just for a little bit, that I can know that I have accomplished something good in life to help people out. And I know it can be scary to reach out to people about how you feel about things. And I just want to let you know, even just me as a content creator, but there's many other creators out there, you don't need to be afraid. It's tough, man. We live in a world that is very, very scary nowadays, even just World of Warcraft aside. And I know it can be sometimes hard. So I just want you to let you know that there are people out there for you. You can always reach out to them. If you have a friend, a family member, even myself, if you want to just shoot me a DM on YouTube, or if you know me on Twitch, you can come over there and always talk, man. I'm always down to have some conversations to help you out. I'm here for you, and I'm sure a lot of other creators can agree with that, because playing WoW can sometimes lead to a lot of, issues, and people take this game very serious. And I know for some people, man, they'll just say, oh, it's only World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft's been around for 20 plus years now, and it's evolved in so many forms of social media and leads to people's actual income nowadays. So it's more than just World of Warcraft. Even Ian said it himself, who leads the retail team. he said it himself that the game and the product is just as much as the developer's game as is the customer's game. So that product is more than just, okay, it's just a video game. It's a part of people's lives. It's their, part of their rituals, part of their daily habits of what they, do. They come home from work, they have some dinner, maybe some chill with their wives or kids, or even if they chill with their husbands, doesn't matter. They play World of Warcraft. It's a part of their curriculum, and they could still deal with that stress. They could still deal with that anxiety from the video game. But I just want to let you know, I don't care what form of aspect you're from, for Season of Discovery, from retail, from anniversary, private servers, whatever the hell you do. Whenever you come here, just know that you have a home to be open. You can be vulnerable. And I watch the comments, and if anybody says some shit, we pack their fucking ass up. Like, I don't like to deal with the trolls, and we'll talk about that here in a second, but I want you to know that your voice is very important. And trolls aside, the people that try to put you down, those people are going through a much harder time in their life. That's why they try to do that to you. And they try to put me down as well. I feel it, trust me. I'm only human, I know I joke about fucking, packing this guy up or shooting them up, you know what I mean? Hey, don't get me wrong. In Minecraft, YouTube, family friendly. But I too can, see a lot of shit that's being said to me sometimes on more on a personal note and get upset about it, and I'm flawed, I'm not perfect. I can't be always thick-skinned all the time, because I'm always looking at the next best thing on WoW or just YouTube in general. But I just want to let you know that stress and anxiety is something that we all deal with. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, man. I'm not going to tell you you're going to overcome it, but I can damn sure tell you we can work on it. I think that's the best thing we can do, because that's something that you're never going to truly always overcome, It's going to come at you at certain points in life when you least expect it, but I want you to know that our people are there for you. Whether if you have a family member or friend on Discord or whoever, or even a content creator you can reach out to and feel comfortable in their comments, I'm here for you, we're here for you, and much love to you on that part. When it comes to depression, this is a whole nother beast, I think this leads from stress and anxiety that equals to depression, where it enters a whole nother realm of how people look at things, especially in the WoW scene too, where I do think a lot of players are actually more depressed than they admit. And this can lead to maybe not performing good. This can lead to not living up to an expectation. This can lead to maybe your class not playing as it once did, so you're very upset and you're annoyed about this and you love this class. This can lead to the state of the world in World of Warcraft and how the game is being represented from the developers, or this can lead to, nostalgia and many other things, right? But I just want you to know that World of Warcraft is a game that you can just turn off. You can always come back into the world whenever you're ready. And it's easier for some people than others, because some people live their whole lives on this game, and hey, I'm not here to knock you for whatever you do. But I just want you to know that I too, along with you, have been in that area of depression where I wish I did better. I wish I performed better. I wish I made a better choice. I wish I gave it my all in certain areas. I wish I never left in certain spots. I know what it's like. And also think about the old days of WoW too. I wish like things were kind of like they were back in the day when I used to watch a lot of old content creators. A lot of them have changed their content to do different things now, but it is what it is, Like, that's just life. And you can't let it get the best of you, because there's so much more than you know. And depression is an animal and a beast that just lurks in the darkness, waiting for you to be, it's waiting for you to go down on yourself. It's waiting for you to beat yourself up so it can really put its, evilness within you. And I really feel like that whenever you feel that depression kick in, go for a walk, listen to a podcast, get some food, maybe go work out, whatever you got to do, and just realize that, man, while you're here on this planet, even having the opportunity to play a video game like World of Warcraft, or have friends, or whatever you have that is going for you, somebody else in another place is no longer with us. Somebody in another place is not here in this world anymore. They don't even get to feel that feeling of depression. Today they're just not on this planet. They're not alive anymore, or they're taking their last breath while you're still waking up, and you're taking your first breath in the morning, of like at least realizing it. I know you're obviously breathing through the night, but you get what I'm saying. A little, jokes there, but I'm basically saying is that be grateful for the situation that you have, And I know that's easier said than done because it's an animal, it's very fucking hard. A lot of us are dealing with problems even outside of WoW that are weighing on us, even in life. I know I deal with it myself, about expectations and where I wish I was and what I did and better choices that gets me down at times where I'm like, fuck, man. Like, yeah, I'm definitely getting a little depressed about it. But I try to just remind myself who the fuck I am. I'm a person that has to make it work for my life, and I look at the whys I keep doing things. I look at the responsibilities that I have. I look at the motivations that I have. And then when I weigh all these things out and I look at it in the grand scheme of things, like, why do I play World of Warcraft? It's not only because of, the paladin and all this stuff that I do, it's because also I love being a part of the world and I love talking about these things to you guys. So am I truly going to let depression beat that? Am I truly going to let depression overcome the positive obsession that I have for seeing World of Warcraft continue to be great, continue to thrive in the next, 5, 10 years or so on and so forth? I can't let depression beat that. Or even just outside of WoW. Other games, I can't let depression overcome me because, SOD ended or anything like that. I have to learn to accept that and move on and look forward to the next chapter of the history of my life that I'm going to go through and that we're all going to go through. So we can't let depression get the best of us because it's an enemy within that tries to ruin us. It tries to really control us. And I'm just trying to inform you guys to always look for that reason why you want to keep pushing on, keep moving forward, whether it's in World of Warcraft, whether it's in life, and let that be the deciding factor of you always persevering and prevailing. And if you don't have a why, talk with someone to find your why. Because sometimes that's all you need. That's all it takes, is just talking to somebody. I can't recommend that enough. Even with the stress and anxiety that we talked about, talking to somebody really helps. And I'm here to talk to you right now, amigos. And then for this part, I want to talk about acceptance, where after all the stress and anxiety, after the depression, you have to accept the fact that all this stuff is something that you're always going to combat with and deal with. But at the same time, even with World of Warcraft, wherever you go next after, whether it's SOD, whether it's Anniversary, whether it's, Mist of Pandaria, you have to realize that you're always going to meet bad apples in the game. You're always going to meet bad decisions as well from Blizzard. That happens. It's normal. People are flawed. Mistakes happen. But you have to accept that this is just the way things happen in the MMO atmosphere. And there are people like this as well that accept this too. And just because the game's in a certain state, just because the game's not the way you want it to be, doesn't mean it doesn't have the potential to be better one day. And there are many other things for you to do outside of World of Warcraft. You don't let that need to be the end-all be-all for you. That you can accept that you can grow as a person, you can make better decisions, and you can move forward with being happy in your life and not letting WoW dictate everything for you. Because I do feel like some people are like that, where they let WoW dictate what game they have to play, or what game they should be playing, or what content they have to be making it for. That's not the case. You can accept the fact that either WoW is in a really bad state or WoW is in a good state. Or WoW's maybe not in any state at all that creators assume that it's in. There's always that question too, right? But I think accepting the fact that the stress and anxiety that you dealt with from early on until now, the depression that you dealt with early on until now, is all part of you growing as a person. In video games, in real life, anywhere. And I feel like it's a very important key to persevering, to becoming the better version of you. Whether it's now or even tomorrow, it doesn't matter. I think acceptance is key of understanding to give you clarity. Because once you have that clarity, you see things better in a way that you've never seen before. You come to a realization in your brain that everything, after all the bullshit that you've been through, after all the stuff that you've seen, after all the, you know, the drama or whatever you may have had in your guilds or communities or whatever you've been a part of, it doesn't matter. It's over and done with. It's history. You move on because you got to live in the now. You got to be present. You know, I think a lot of us, we live for either the future or we dwell in the past, but we forget that the opportunity of living right now is more important than ever. And the future and the past doesn't matter. The past is something that makes us who the people we are. The future is not yet dictated, so who gives a fuck about the future? Worry about right now and accept the fact that, you know, what is rather than what isn't, and deal with that and keep pushing forward. I think that's the best recommendation I can give for right now. Of course, I'm not perfect on everything, but that's what I can recommend, at least to you guys, and something that I've been accepting as well in my own personal life. It takes a lot of courage to grow and accept, and that's where I'm at right now in my life, is accepting that, you know, obviously Sod's done, or I'm accepting that we're moving on to a new thing with MOP, you know, and seeing how that goes. Or I'm accepting the fact that, you know, obviously a lot of people are going from anniversary to TBC, and I can't just, you know, keep saying that anniversary is, you know, in this shit state when people are just grinding and just gonna wait for TBC, you know? I can't just fucking bash on that game, and that's not what I'm trying to ever do for anybody that ever thinks I am. I'm not trying to do that. I love classic WoW. I just want to see people have fun in WoW in all forms, and I think people are for the most part, so who the fuck am I to judge, right? But overall, yeah, I think acceptance is just, it's a very important thing that more of us players need to start having, you know, when it comes to the video game itself, whether it comes to these decisions that the devs make. We have to understand that this is also, as much as it's our baby, it's their baby too, you know, and this is their project, and, you know, they're always working on it. We can always voice our opinions. We can always, you know, ask for change and be vocal on the forum posts. But I think, you know, at some point, if things start just don't working out, you know, they're not being answered, then the best way to answer these things is by moving on and maybe not playing the game as much as you once did. And maybe in time, the WoW devs would realize a certain thing, and then they would accept the fact themselves that maybe the decision that they made was wrong, or the decision they made was right. And I feel like that's where the best type of, you know, decisions be made is from once people accept something, you know, whether it's a bad class change, a bad raid design, whether that's, you know, a decision about, you know, whether it's GDKPs or, you know, servers being mega servers or not. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, the best way of acceptance is when people start moving on, or people start pushing forward with something else. And whether that's, you know, either a WoW player not playing WoW anymore, or maybe more WoW players still playing, the devs are going to look at that decision in one way, shape, or form, and internally themselves, they're going to accept the fact that they're doing something either right or wrong. So I think that's the best way I can really explain more of that when it comes to the WoW player and how we handle things in the future. And that's what I'll leave that, you know, I'll leave that part off with you, how you guys feel about that in the comments below. Talking about myself here, for the most part, I love doing videos for you guys. I love making World of Warcraft content. I love making people laugh. I think is one of my favorite things to do on the internet, and just bringing people joy. And that's all I used to do early on in SOD. That was what all this was for in the first place. I never really wanted to start doing news style videos and updates and all that other stuff. I really just like doing entertainment shit. And I think somewhere along the way, I kind of lost my own path of understanding that all I wanted to do was make people laugh. And there's points where I've brought that back for sure. But there was other points where I start seeing where the community was going, and I was leaning towards that community, obviously just from a YouTube perspective, obviously just to fucking, you know, whether it's generating views, generating, you know, a new community or some type of form of content, but that's not who I am. I like to make people laugh. And I'll keep saying that because that's what I love doing. I love entertaining. I love making you guys happy. Sometimes to the point where your happiness is more meaningful to me than my own. And it's fucked up. But it's the way my brain is programmed to the point where I try to make myself happy, but I find happiness out of others more than myself, which is really hard. And it's tough. And, you know, you want to see the real me, this is who I am. And I think that in the WoW scene, a lot of people can be very fucking mean, you know? It's not easy. Us content creators, we don't tell you these things. We go through a lot of shit. We just want to make this dream work. And I want to make this work. And I want to make this work with you guys. I do. And I get motivated by a lot of fucking other people, you know? I get motivated by a lot of other people to even do the things that I want to do. But I think it's very important for us to talk like we're having a beer, we're having some food, you know? Or just macking. Maybe smoking a doinkski. Much love to you. Like I said, guys, I'm flawed. I have my problems. Not always right on every update, you know? But I want you to know that even through all this stuff that I'm talking about right now, I'm still going to be doing videos. I'm still going to be putting out new content. I really have passion for all of this, more than you can know. And I really hope that people can see that passion and they can relate with it, at least, to an extent. I know, even on this video too, people might even hate on me. It's fine. I get it. I don't want to be always the person that's going to fucking please everyone as much as I love to. But I realize I can't please everyone as much as I wish I can. And it sucks. I think that part bothers me the most, is that I can't please everyone. And that one bothers me, for sure. And I have to realize that and start accepting that more often than not. That not everyone's going to be a fan of me. Not everyone's going to like me. Not everyone's going to respect me. People are going to look down on me. They're going to doubt me. They're going to laugh at me. They're going to, you know, hate me. And it is what it is. I have to even accept that even as a content creator. So, to those who don't care about me, I wish you nothing but the best. I can't fucking hate on you, bro. And if I ever did hate on the past or something I've done, maybe by accident, then that's on me. You know, I apologize. I'm more of a man. If I ever fucked up to anybody, you know, that's on me. But I'm just trying to make the best to work with this dream that I got. And we'll see how far I take it, you know. But to all those who enjoyed my videos, much love to you. I thank you for hearing me out today. I really hope that anybody who's going through mental health issues can be vulnerable, like I was today, can be willing to talk, be willing to understand, and be willing to hear out your own friends, the people in your guild, the people that you play games with, people in your real life, the people you watch, content creators like myself, and be willing to have these discussions, because I think it's very important that we have these talks, because some people, they don't get to have these talks anymore because they never had somebody to talk to, and they're no longer with us. You know, I've lost some friends. I know what that's like, and it sucks. It really does. So I just want to say much love to you guys, and thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for always, you know, chilling around the content, and yeah, I guess I'll just leave it on that. If you like these style of videos, you want to see them more often than not, then maybe I'll do them more. But that's about it, amigos. Peace out.